it going, everybody? We're here, July 3rd, episode 5 of Puck Drop with Cutting Edge. This is your host, Kevin Geist, ready to rock and roll. We missed you guys last week, but we're back at it again for episode 5. We have a very special guest today, a new person on the pod. We don't have Coach Steven, we don't have Coach Johnny, but we have Coach Buddy O'Donnell. How are we doing, buddy?
I'm alright. Pretty good. A little tired, but it is what it is.
Awesome. Thanks for coming on, buddy.
You're welcome.
So, we've got a lot of things to talk about since our last episode. Since we last talked, we had Game 7, Stanley Cup Final, between Edmonton and Florida, which now, it's crazy. It's been over a week ago, and it feels like it was just yesterday, and at the same time, it feels like it was years ago. Florida got right into the ship. They went back to playing Florida Panthers hockey, and they closed it out playing a strong defensive game in Game 7 against Edmonton. Connor McDavid getting the Conn Smythe, credit to him. He had an awesome playoffs. The crazy thing is, he basically one-manned that team to 7 games of that Stanley Cup
He's just
Final.
levels above everybody else on the ice. The speed of his skating and his mind, everything just comes like instinct to him.
Yeah, no, it's crazy. It's without McDavid. You take McDavid off that team, it's not like some of these other teams where you take their best player off and it's like, all right, maybe they don't go as far in the playoffs. Maybe they're one and done. Maybe make second round. You take him off the team, Edmonton doesn't even make the playoffs. They're like, he is in a class of his own. Best hockey player on the planet. It's crazy. And kind of going back on the end of that game and the way that Florida won, though, they went back to defensive hockey. I think they held him, McDavid, to only like 2 shots on goal. They kept everything to the outside. They had the one breakdown on the breakaway, but that's about it. But everything else was keep it to the outside, pounce on your chances, and lock them down. And that's what they did.
It has to be very frustrating to play against them.
Yeah.
Like that.
Yeah, and that's the key. You have to try not to lose your cool and try not to lose your focus when you're playing a team like Florida. That's just will just wear you down. Where you think you have control of the game and you don't. You're playing right into Florida's hands. And if you just look at the way the end of that game went, just everybody basically throwing your bodies in front of pucks, throwing your face in front of these just Bouchard's bombs from the point, and you got guys throwing their face right in front of a 100-mile-an-hour slap shot. That's how you win a cup. That's how you win championships. Is doing that crazy stuff. That those are little things it takes.
Little things that go a long way.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. And I thought what was interesting after in the post game celebration, they were interviewing Paul Maurice, and one thing that he said that really struck a chord with me was they asked him what makes this team special, what makes this team different, and he said that they all genuinely like each other, right from the beginning. They all get along. They are truly a family, and
they all know their roles.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And it's it goes back to a couple episodes where we talk about culture in the locker room. That right there is what it's all about.
Yeah.
He said when they traded for Tarasenko and the other guys that got the deadline, they fit in just immediately, and that comes back to the leadership in the locker room, right? The captains, Barkov, Ekblad, Kachuk, all those guys that they set the tone for the locker room, and everybody else follows, and that's.
And you need everybody locked in.
Yeah, 100%.
One person not bought in, it'll just spread like cancer.
100%. Now, I'm sure you've played on teams on both ends, great locker rooms, bad locker rooms, and I'm sure you've seen the difference.
Similar teams in talent. I've been on teams where it was horrible in the locker room. And I've been on teams the same amount of talent, and everybody was on the same page. Everybody knew their role. Everybody loved each other. We did like team activities all the time, and it was night and day. We were so much more successful
Yeah.
as a team.
So, kind of piggyback off that, tell us a little bit about your hockey journey. For those of you who don't know Coach Buddy, he's a cutting edge original out
OG.
here, an OG. He's been coming here probably since you were like 12 years old, right, buddy? Like,
Yeah, since 2011. So I don't know. I'm not gonna do the math right now. We'll just say 12. It's
yep, that sounds about right. But no, you've been coming here, skating, training with Coach Johnny Hero, and now you're a full blown adult coming and coaching here. Just everything comes full circle,
Yep.
right? So tell us about your hockey journey, your playing career.
Oh, all right. So kind of been all over the place. Started at the Montclair Blues. Started off at B or single A. I don't really remember. But then eventually, after some successful seasons, you can say, as a mite, I made the Colonials Double A team. Played there for a couple of years. Then I played at the Avalanche for a few years. Played at the Rockets. Played at Saints. And it's all about having a coach who believes that you have potential. Doesn't matter, what team you play for. The level, I mean, I'm not going to say the level doesn't matter at all, because it does. You want to be against good competition, playing with good players. But it's not the end of the world if you're at AAA Tier 1, AAA Tier 2, AA. There's all different kinds of levels now. But if you're with a coach who believes in you, will give you ice time, and develop you, it's a lot better than being with one who really just doesn't care.
Yeah, no, I totally agree with
Has
that.
you there as a roster spot.
Yeah, no, I totally agree with that. It's all about being in the right place. Who's going to fit your skill set and really help you develop as a player. Um, but where, what are you doing now? Where are you playing now, buddy?
Well, now I am playing at William Patterson University, ACHA Division One club hockey, and right before that, I was playing 2 years. I played 2 years in EHL, 1 year for the Little Flyers, and most recently 1 year for Team Maryland. And I have to say I'm surprised with the level of hockey that club hockey is. I thought it was going to be worse than it actually was, but it is. I have to say it's probably not far off from juniors. So I'm
Yeah,
happy where I'm at now, close to home. Practice 2 or 3 times a week, so I have more time to work and do lessons here at Cutting Edge, which I enjoy doing,
it's good.
and it's fun hockey.
Yeah, no, and I think that's one thing I think people fail to realize is how good the hockey is across the board, right? And
Especially nowadays.
especially nowadays,
Game's just
at
getting better and better.
the junior and college level, it's crazy. Because growing up, right, you always figure, oh, obviously D1's the top of the top when you go to college hockey, and then as a kid you think, oh, maybe there's D2, and then D3 is not as good. I could play D3, blah blah blah. Or I could play club. It's such good hockey across the board. Even a lot of these D3 schools, they are phenomenal hockey players.
Yeah.
You got to go out there, and if you're going to play NCAA hockey at any level, you have
It's
to.
a full-time job.
It is a full time job, 100%. You got to go out there, and you got to be playing high level hockey. You got to be grinding. You got to, even the D3 schools want you to play
gotta grind
juniors.
your way up the roster.
Yeah, even the D3 schools want you to play juniors. They don't want you coming in as an 18-year-old kid. You have
Oh
to
yeah,
be.
no, nobody's going straight from youth hockey to college hockey. People don't understand how good like D3 hockey actually is.
Yeah, no, it's crazy. The school I went to, and I ended up not playing in college, and I didn't have the right mindset going into college because it's like I thought, oh, whatever. I'm a pretty good hockey player at 18U, and D3, I can make a D3 team. And then I got there and realized, no, I can't make a D3 team. No shot. Like, these guys are so good. And all the guys who I became friends with who are on the team, they were all 20-year-old freshmen because they played juniors for 2 years. These schools want these seasoned guys to come in and play. You have to be extremely, extremely talented to come in as an 18-year-old and play college hockey right away. It's not easy. It's tough, and it's all about having the right mindset and putting in the work and finding the right coaches, who will believe in you and will help carry you and help develop you. And that's what it's all about. Find that right coach, find that right place, and that'll really boost your player development. On top of that, we talked about last week. It's a little bit of the things you do off the ice. Steve went into a little bit of his mindset um, of what he does to prepare for games, pre-games, and whatnot, prepare for practices and getting his body right, getting his mind right. What you do before the game is huge, and it's also what you eat is huge, right? It's
Yes.
your diet
Yes.
and whatnot. The stuff you put in your body, that's your fuel. That's what gets you going for games. What's your
I'm very strict
what's your
about
diet
what
look
I
like,
eat.
buddy? Yeah, what's your diet
An
look
average
like?
game day diet. All right. Depending on what time the game. Usually our games are like 8 o'clock for Willie P. So probably get about pound and a half of meat in around a day. You need that protein. You need the meat for all its nutrients. And as we get closer to game time, when I'm at the rink about 2 hours before the game, I like to bring some fruit, some honey, obviously water. You got to be hydrated, but you can't drink. You can't just chug water right before the game. You got to be hydrated throughout the day.
Yeah, hydration is
So
key.
that
Like, how much water do you drink the day before? Like,
I
forget
don't
about
know.
your
I
game
don't. I
day.
don't.
You got a game the next day. You're
Like I don't
drinking a
really.
ton of water
Yeah.
before, right?
Yeah. I don't track it, but I just I drink.
Just make sure you're hydrated. Make sure
The
you and the night before.
today's water is tomorrow's hydration.
That is true, buddy.
Yeah.
That is true. You sit there and it's like Buddy said before. If you chug a bunch of water before the game, you're just gonna end up throwing it up. You're gonna feel like crap, and you're just gonna
Gonna
feel
cramp up.
yeah, you're gonna cramp up. And when
You're
you
gonna
start
sweat it
cramping,
right out. You have to hold. You need salt. You need electrolytes so your body holds into water. So now I'm getting scientific now.
yeah, no, that's true. That is true. So, what else in the hockey world have we missed since the last week? We got the hold on, hold on.
I just wanted to touch on the point of the Edmonton Oilers and how I predict they will do next year. For the Edmonton Oilers, I believe that in the playoffs, Draisaitl and McDavid were both injured, and they played through that. And it's all about the mentality of next year and how they come back from the injury, come back from losing in a Game 7 in the Stanley Cup Finals. So everyone has their highs and lows. It's learning how to bounce back, and they have to learn how to eat well, sleep well, how to keep their bodies healthy, and to not injure themselves, and to keep themselves in shape, and play well along all next year without getting injured. And then getting into the playoffs and doing what they do best, the Oilers. They're looking at a good team next year with a lot of people who are also joining on that team. And I think they should be doing pretty good next year. What do you think, buddy?
Well, I mean, I want the Rangers to win.
Yeah.
So it's, you never know what's gonna happen. You can't predict these things. Rangers won the President's Trophy. They lost the cup. I mean, what about like 4 years ago? The Blues were last in the league. They ended up winning the cup. Is it's impossible to predict. So I don't know. I'm just gonna wait and see.
Yeah,
I just
no,
enjoy watching it.
that's right. That was special guest Tristan on the opinions of the Edmonton Oilers. Tristan's here. He's been training here. He's visiting from Ottawa, so he's been training here in the summer. So it's been nice to have Tristan here at the rink. Um, and yeah,
Yeah. Any team could look good on paper. I mean, like the Rangers 2 years ago had probably one of the best teams on paper before the playoffs with Kane, Tarasenko, Kreider, Panarin, all those guys. And look what happened. They broke down.
yep, didn't
It's all
work out.
about the chemistry, how the lines. It's
Yeah,
players with the coach, like how they fit the system. There's a lot more things that go into factor than just names on a roster.
Yeah, totally agree. And that's why Florida. So I say all the time, the best team in the league doesn't always win the cup. It's the best, or I shouldn't say the most skilled team doesn't always win the cup. It's the best team that wins the cup. Right. Over the weekend, we also had the NHL draft. NHL draft is always a fun little event. Um, the drafts in any league are such a calculated. It's so difficult to predict. Right, you're calculating your risks. You're trying to gauge and see what these players are going to project into. So many years you have players who never pan out. I mean, if you look back on all these drafts in years past, in the first round you got 32 players getting drafted. Maybe 10 of them are actually impact players, right? Like it goes year by year, so it's always hard to gauge, right? I mean, Macklin Celebrini, he could be a stud. Or he can just turn out to be an average player. You don't know.
You got to be patient with these players too, like look at Lafreniere.
Yeah, you definitely got to be patient. I think fans sometimes are a little too impatient when it comes to the player development of some of these guys.
Still kids.
Yeah, I mean, Lafreniere looks like he's ready to finally break out to being a star in this league, and people are ready to write him off as a bust because he wasn't putting up 80 points as a 20-year-old, right? Like, so it's not everybody. The McDavids, the McKinnons, the Crosby, Ovechkin, those guys of the world they're generational players. Not every first round pick, not every first overall pick is gonna be like these guys. Matthews, same, he's in that same boat. But
I'd say Bedard too.
Yeah, Bedard very well could be. He's right on that trajectory of being in that upper echelon of superstars in this league. But I think what the key to a lot of these players and what fans need to realize is there has to be an element of patience that comes along with these draft picks. It's okay, maybe after 4 or 5 years, if they're still only putting up 20, 30 points a game, yeah, you know what you're getting, right? But if you see a continuous uptick and you see their chart is trending in the right area, I mean, Lafreniere's passed his points from the previous season every year. He's increased his points, right? So that's a sign of development and a sign of growth. Whereas,
and just by watching his play this year, you can see how much more confident he is.
Yeah,
he's willing to take the puck and just go.
That's
the
also
drive
key.
Of his play, like he's hungrier.
Yeah, I mean that's also key too. It's forget about the skill development, but the mental development as well. It's learning and understanding the game and being able to process the game at high speeds also, and being confident in your ability.
Yeah, confidence is huge.
Confidence is
that
also
can make
visible.
Or break a player at any level.
Yeah, and you can see it. It's visible. Confidence is something you can look on the ice and be like, wow, that kid looks, or that guy, he looks confident in his play. He's not hesitating. He's not hesitating to shoot. He's not second guessing himself. They want the puck on their stick, and I think everybody likes to get on like Panarin in the playoffs. He's a guy when you can visibly see his confidence.
Mm-hmm.
When he's out there and he's controlling the puck and he's taking it to the net and he's firing and he's firing the puck and shooting at all times. When he's on, he's on. But when he's not confident, he's invisible because he's trying to pass the puck off too much. He doesn't want the puck on his stick as much, and you can see it. You can see it. What do you got, Tristan?
Yeah, confidence is a big part of the game, but being confident in yourself helps a lot, and you're able to do more plays without having the fear of making mistakes. But having confidence in your team and in each players is very important for teams, and that's I think why Florida worked, because they all knew and they held on to each other and hold each other accountable, and they trusted that they would work it out. And it's all about trusting the people you play with, because an individual doesn't make a team, and you need to learn how to play with others and to believe in others, and they will believe in you, and that's how confidence as a team makes good teams great teams.
I totally agree with that. That's a good point about confidence being two ways, not just confident in yourself, but confident in your teammates. That's also huge. If you believe that the guy next to you is going to do their job, then you won't even second guess giving them the puck or making a play yourself, because you know that that guy's got your back. And it's if you don't trust in the guy next to you, it
also,
affects your game.
The other way around, if you feel that your coaches and teammates are confident in you, it'll also make you feel better and give yourself more confidence. It goes all the way around.
Yeah, no, I agree. We also had a local kid drafted in the draft, Johnny Mustard, going third round to the Chicago Blackhawks. So congratulations to him. He trains with Johnny Hero. He's a local guy here from New Jersey, and Johnny Mustard's story is a really good one for parents and young players to look at. When you look at his pathway to now getting drafted in the NHL, this is a guy who, he played AAA when he was younger, got cut from his AAA team 14U, I believe it was his second year 14U, and he played AA, had a monster season, and never looked back. Was AAA again next season, went to Bergen Catholic, he went to the USHL, and then he got drafted in the third round by Chicago. And that's a prime example of, you hear all the time people say, oh, you can't go back from AAA to AA, death sentence, you'll never recover. No, it's not true. It's not true. And Johnny Mustard's a prime example. He got cut. He went and he played a year of AA. He quote unquote took a step down because he went somewhere where he actually played and grew and developed. In that season, he could have easily went to a different organization and went and played AAA somewhere else for a weaker AAA team, and maybe you're not playing first line, or you're playing fourth line, and you're not getting the ice time and opportunities that he did playing for that AA team, and that really helped him grow and develop in the ways that he needed to, and get confidence in himself again, and to grow. So it's like people get caught up on letters way too much, and he's a prime example of why you shouldn't. You don't need to. Don't get so hyped around letters, especially. It's not the end of the world if your 10-year-old gets cut from AAA.
They don't realize how much time they have. You have so much time to get to the top level.
Yeah.
I've played with my 18U season. I've played with kids who were playing AA the year before, and then they went on to play high level juniors after that. They were playing AA before their 18U season, went to a AAA 18U team, and went on to play high level juniors. So these kids have so much time to develop.
There are plenty NHL players who never played Tier 1, which is crazy. But it's all about the opportunities that you have and the coaches that you play for that really make or break, where you go in your hockey life. When you're looking at teams for tryouts, big thing for you to do, common theme that we've been saying, look for the right fit. Look for the right fit, look for the right coach, look for the right teammates. You can look at this team that looks like, oh man, they got all the skill in the world, these guys look great, but none of the kids pass, and the coach favors 3 kids and leaves everyone else behind, right? Like, those are the things
there's a lot of corrupt coaches out there.
Yeah,
so you
that's
gotta
true.
be careful.
Like, that's what you have to...
You gotta know the guy.
Yeah, that's what you have to look out for.
Talk to the coach, feel out what kind of person he is. All these things go into factor in trying to choose your team.
No, 100%. And it's about finding the right fit for you as a player. That's what's really going to help you grow and really help you succeed. Well, if you're looking for somewhere to skate over the summer camp season is in full swing. We started this week with Johnny Hero Breakfast Club and the High Performance Skating and Shooting Camp with Steve and Strap. So we had a first week of abbreviated camp since we had the long weekend coming up with 4th of July, but that's in full effect. So next week we have the early development camp, and we have BESA. If you're a bit of more of a novice player, the 10:40 a.m. early development camp would be great for you guys. It's more of a low skill type of camp that helps build a strong foundation and a strong base for your hockey.
Building on the basics.
Yep.
Everything that you need.
Yep.
I'll be running every day of that camp except for Monday. Steve will be there Monday.
Yep. So we got Coach Buddy there. And then if you want to work on your skating, we have Coach Bessa returning at night. Coach Bessa is awesome. He's trained with a ton of NHL players. Coach Elena is going to be helping out with him as well. They come from the same skating background, So that's another great camp. And while you're here, if you're hungry, don't forget about Buddy's Bar Down Barbecue. Or
Beach,
sorry, buddy, go ahead. I'll let you take that one.
Beach Buddies, Bar Down, Barbecue, and Grill.
That's right.
Cheeseburgers and hot dogs, high quality meat, 100% grass fed, no artificial preservatives.
Only the best.
We talked about nutrition before, and now you can get it at a convenience right here at Cutting Edge.
only the best. Only the best from
Cooked
Buddy.
fresh.
And Buddy is your coach, your Zamboni driver, your chef. He does it all. He's a jack of all trades. Buddy can't be stopped. So, but if you guys are hungry and looking for a snack, Buddy is making some delicious burgers and hot dogs. And what is best for burgers and hot dogs but the 4th of July weekend? So I'm going to end it on that.
We have pickles too.
Yes, we have pickles too.
Ketchup
So-
and mustard. Soon we'll be selling water bottles. We're just going to keep upgrading it depending on the revenue that comes in. You know, if we become successful, we will invest in a griddle and we will sell breakfast sandwiches in the morning. So the more you buy burgers and hot dogs, the better experience Cutting Edge will be. The better service you will have. You can get anything here.
We
Perfection.
strive for the best. We strive for perfection here at Cutting Edge, especially with our summer camps on and off the ice. So we're going to wrap it up here. Everybody have a happy and safe 4th of July. Enjoy the long weekend. And, Buddy, thanks for joining us. I hope you enjoyed yourself.
Oh, this is great. I'm very happy I took part in this podcast, and I will be back
Thanks, buddy.
with more outlook,
Insight, maybe?
insight, whatever.
All right. Well, enjoy the weekend, everybody. See you guys next week. Hope to see you here at the rink.